so freaking bad. Wrestle me.
Welcome, everybody, to Juice Pro Wrestling, episode 169. Desi Hitman. Desi Hitman with our very special guest. I'm fucking super stoked about this one. I've been wanting to get this brother on the show for a long, long time. He's a native of the Midwest, much like ourselves. It's always good to have a fellow Midwestern on this show and a guy involved in the business that's been killing it the last several years with Impact Wrestling and beyond on the independents. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome Rohit Raju.
Oh my
Rohit Raju, how the hell are you doing tonight, brother?
I am fantastic. I am the jaw-jacking Thursday night Impact, and his mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha-skinned manimal, almond Adonis, whatever you got to say, whatever nickname I'm going to pull right out of here. Lex Luger himself, ravishing Rohit Raju. I'm doing great.
Yes, brother, I fucking love it. Bringing the energy, man.
Yeah, we got to bring the energy. Shit, yes.
I like the shirt, by the way, man. The little play on the Wu-Tang.
That's right, man. Wu-Tang's my favorite hip-hop group, and this is from Collar and Elbow. They're always hooking me up, so I absolutely love it. So I got to represent either this or Powerbomb. They always send me cool stuff, so I'm always going to represent these guys. Like half my shirts now are from Powerbomb or Collar and Elbow. It's ridiculous.
Dude, that's great, man. I mean, free is fucking awesome, you know?
Yeah, they do good stuff, though, too. Obviously, Wu-Tang.
Hell yeah. Wu-Tang. The RZA, the Jizza, Inspector Deck, Ghostface Killer.
Overly bastard and M-E-T-H-O-D, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
So speaking of, let's get into that real quick, because I'm a music guy. Sren fucking likes Dave Matthews, whatever. We won't talk about that. We won't even talk to him. Don't mind that he's there.
Please, talk to me.
God, Jesus Christ. You ruined the show already, Sren, with your voice. Anyways, what's some of you mentioned, Wu-Tang's one of your favorite hip hop groups. What's like the genre of music that you like to fucking dive into, man?
Dude, anytime we're on a road trip and I have my all my music on my phone, it's random. Wu-Tang could be up next. Immortal Technique could be up next. Frank Sinatra, Bob Marley, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Megadeth. As they lay dying, soundtracks, Conan the Barbarian soundtrack, shit from Star Wars, shit from animes, shit from Lord of the Rings, stuff from Dark Crystal, just anything like from video games. I love music. Old country, not a fan of anything from 90s and beyond. Usually big fan of Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, stuff like that. Really, a lot of old school stuff. Not to offend anybody, I just can't get into the newer country or even 90s country. That's just not my thing. More grittier style country is what I like. But almost damn near anything I will listen to in some form or fashion. But yeah, my playlist it's very random, and I just love music. If it sounds good, I'm gonna listen to it.
Brother, let me ask you this, because you brought up Conan, and obviously, you got to be talking about the Arnold one, not the one with...
God, yes. What's best in life? Crush enemies, see them before you, and the lamentation of the women. You took my father's sword, you killed my people. That's the best, man. I love Arnold. That is, to this day, probably one of the most underrated movies ever. That and the first Predator, I guess with newer generations. But, man, Basil Paldoris, his soundtrack from Conan the Barbarian is like one of the greatest scores of all time. And I watched recently reaction videos of people watching Conan the Barbarian for the first time, and they loved it. They loved the score. And I just wish more people knew about it, because a lot of people think it's just some 80s cheesy film. Yeah, it does have 80s cheese, but it's like, if you want a great sword and sorcery flick, that's it. And I'm a big fan of the Robert E. Howard stories and the old comics. But the Arnold version, that's what made me, when I saw Arnold for the first time and Bruce Lee and then professional wrestling, that's what made me want to get in shape. And I never looked back ever since that. I said, I got to look like that. I want to know how to look like that, or at least remotely close. And so I started hitting the weights as soon as I could. And and being an old ass man and looking better than 90% of the people out there. I dig that.
How old are you?
We're going to say 55, according to the internet. There was this huge thing recently where Mark Cardona, a.k.a. Matt Cardona, tried to put something out there, and the fans are trying to put it together. But I'm older than most, I'll say that, but I look better than most as well. And my body is in better shape than most as far as like my bump card and stuff. So I'm fine. And people can try to, jab at the age all they want, but I'm like fine wine, man. The older I get, the better I get. So it's all good by my standards.
What was it, Aaliyah? Age ain't nothing but a number.
This is true.
Yeah. Hey,
isn't Cardona like 61? Didn't he just have a birthday?
I don't know, man. He looks 61 to me. I called him a walking Necronomicon because he's like that Simpsons episode where they would, it was the fake 90210 parody, and they're like, hey, this is that new hip star from whatever. He's like a 35-year-old man cast as a high school, and when he smiles, you see all the wrinkles, and I like to dig at Cardona. I won't lie, the feud with him and I is probably one of my favorite things. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to our Twitter battle.
Oh, yeah.
That alone is worth the price of admission because he'll give it to me and I'll give it to him right back. And it's to me, it's so underrated. But of course, his GCW stuff is going to overshadow that. But man, our back and forth on Twitter and then our matches alone, they're really good. And I wish more people would pay attention to it because it's great. It's a great rivalry. It's a spur-of-the-moment rivalry. It's a rivalry you never think that would happen. And I think the stuff that we're doing is honestly money. And it's not getting the attention that it deserves, and that bums me out so much.
Well, let's help get a little more attention to it. What is your Twitter handle for all those faithful out there?
At Hakeem Zane, that's HAKIMZANE. And I think his is Mark the Coward Cardona. I could be wrong on that. It might not be, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I'm pretty sure you're right. I just saw it today. He's marking out for fucking ECW Vince McMahon. ECW.
Yeah, I won't lie. Durag Vince is pretty sweet. So when I saw him do that, I had to give him props. That's amazing.
I'll give props to
Durag Vince, Durag Vader, just those guys wearing durags. It kills me. It absolutely kills me.
Right, dude.
I tried to get Josh Alexander to wear a durag, but he was scared he would get canceled. So I was like,
yeah. I just saw something. Didn't he put fucking Velcro on the GCW belt, or was that the
oh my god,
internet?
What a move. I love it. I love to watch the GCW loyal get so mad at him. I just absolutely love it. Like his stuff with the GCW title has been amazing, and it's Pro Wrestling 101, and people don't understand that. Like, I mean, that's why the marks are marks, I guess,
That's right. I want to trail back a little bit, man. When you're talking about working out music and Conan and shit. So yes. What do you listen to when you're getting the pump? Because Arnold said the pump is better than coming.
Yeah, it's like you're coming. Yeah. It's like Arnold. I listen to a lot of it's more heavier hip hop, a lot of like Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, Megadeth, old school Metallica, Maiden. I'm a huge 80s metal fan. I do have some Conan on there just because it's very inspirational and very epic as far as the themes go. There's some Rocky on there as well. I have some motivational speeches from people on there, but mostly it's something heavy to get me going and keep my mindset right, keep that energy up. I love hitting the weights every single day. Eat clean, I love the way it makes me feel. I love the way it makes me look. And it's funny, the older I am now, I look better now than I've ever looked in my entire life. I'm just going to keep on going. I'm pretty sure if I stop, I'm just going to turn to dust. So, yeah.
Kudos to you, brother, because you are jacked, and it's been awesome to watch your rise.
Jesus, Flex Division champion.
Right, you always know you're in pretty good shape. The harder and harder your shirts are to read means you're getting more and more pumped.
Yeah, I'm sloppy and dumpy. I got that dad bod shit.
I put it in the dryer so it looks even better. So it's awesome.
What does that say?
You gotta read it. Oh, you want to watch a movie here? Let me flex my lashes and just project it on my back.
Yeah. Somebody fucking bust out the what do you call those? The fucking projector. I couldn't even think of it. Damn it.
There it is.
But yeah, dude, it's been cool to watch your progress through Impact throughout the years. I mean, what was it? 2016, 2017 when you went to Impact?
Yeah, 2017, I first got my tryout, and at the end of I had won the Global Forge thing, aka the gut check, and I had
Global Force
first run at the end of December, and then I got signed at the end of December. Well, I got signed in January when I saw Scott again, but it was for that, and it was cool because it was funny. They first brought me in as Hakeem Zayn. And I was just kind of doing my own thing. And then they wanted an Indian faction because they signed the deal with Sony 6 and I'm half Indian. So they were like, hey, let's, we're going to get this. And at first I was like, I don't want to be stereotyped and stuff like that.
Right.
But Impact was cool to where they were like, just do you, you know what I mean? But still be you but still represent India. So I thought it was really cool. They just kind of let me be me, and it felt good. And for the longest time, honestly, I just was getting lost in the shuffle, and I know they wanted big things with the Desi Hit Squad, but man, we didn't do anything. We were just job guys. And we were talking before we got on. That's why I used Hakeem Zayn everywhere on the indies, because Rohit Raju had zero worth. And I remember that they asked me, why don't you use Rohit everywhere? So I said, there's not worth anything. Nobody wants to pay to see Rohit Raju. I lose I think it was Tuesday at the time. And I said, there's nothing going on. And there's nothing to me. There's no momentum. There's nothing. I'm just a guy on TV, making everybody else look good. So there was nothing. And, I don't try not to complain about it, try not to bitch and moan about it. I just try to go out there and do my best work. And then after a while, I just was like, you know what, I'm going to do me. And I started doing me. And that's when my best work came out, because I was comfortable. And then when they put that X Division title on me, I thought it was a joke when I heard that I was getting it. I was like, this is a joke. They're just ribbing me. But then when they did that, I decided to flip the script, started dressing like 98 Dwayne. And then I just started doing my own thing. And they gave me a microphone, which to me, I do better than like 85, 90% of the guys in professional wrestling. I don't care what day of the week your show lands on, I'm going to out-talk you. And then I thought that was my bread and butter. And then I started to finally become my own individual and coming to my own. And it felt great. It honestly felt great because they were giving me the ball, and I ran and I scored touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. So, and I continue to. Anything they put me in, any vehicle, whoever they put me with, I'm going to make it money. So Ultimate X was the same way. You're thinking of all these cool spots. You're probably thinking of all this great stuff. But one of the things that you remember during, Slammiversary was me using weightlifting chalk, throwing a rope in there, climbing that, using the shirts that you use, the hook that you use to get the shirt off, and then climbing that, stuff like that. And that's what I wanted, because I was trying to create my moments. You expect all these things, but you don't expect that. And I felt like I did that. So sometimes I like to say I turned chicken shit into chicken salad. So, yeah. And, and I guess, we kind of filibuster there a little bit and trailing off. But that's how I started. And that's where I ended up.
Well, and it's good, though. And I've seen this a lot with a lot of guys in Impact recently, albeit they were part of, coming in like yourself as a tag team or whatever. And then turning chicken shit into chicken salad, like you're saying, man. And I've seen Impact has been able to do that. And, and to have a guy like yourself, like become the Impact fucking X Division champion, which is, dude, to me, I'm not a fucking wrestler, but that's a pretty prestigious title with a pretty damn good lineage to have. And I know at some point we're going to see you as a fucking two-time X Division champ.
Hands down.
No doubt. But it's awesome that Impact does that with their talent, and some of the guys, maybe they may have dropped the ball on. I mean, you could use Killer Cross for an example, but I see guys like you, Josh Alexander, Jake something, for the longest time. And I know you're friends with Jake. You guys come up together, right?
Yep.
It's been awesome because like when he signed, I'm like, God damn it, why they got to give him with the fucking Diener thing? Like he is something more than that. But I get it, maybe it's trial and error. They want to see how you react to certain situations. Maybe that's a business standpoint and see how they can work. And if you're willing to work within, the lines and do the best that you can and turn that proverbial chicken shit into chicken salad, ooh, it's delicious. Then shit happens like you becoming the X Division champion and putting your own spin on it. Like you said, that Ultimate X match was fucking amazing. And you're right. That's what people do remember, man. But that takes a good mind for the business and good psychology, so kudos to you for that, man. That's fucking super cool. I want to ask you, what was it like working with Gama Singh, who is a legend, Canadian legend, dude, from Stu Hart's Stampede Wrestling back in the 70s and 80s. What'd you take away from him? Anything that, you still use to this day, or what kind of mentoring, if any, did he do for you?
Yeah, old school works. I would watch Gama go out there. He would read the newspaper of whatever city we were in. He would find out what was going on. And people wouldn't see this because he would cut a promo before he would go out, so it would be off air. Right. Gama would go out there. He'd build up the crowd. He'd talk about the ongoings of the city, and then he would destroy them. And he would get such great heel heat. And people have no idea. I mean, they have no clue. They have no clue his history. They have no clue who he's worked with, who he's helped develop. They have no idea. And Gama's a gem, absolute gem. I haven't had a chance to talk to him in a while because of COVID. I love Gama. I would just sit back there and listen to him tell stories. I'd ask him, tell me about this. Tell me about Owen. Tell me about Brett. Tell me about Benoit. Tell me about Stu. And he would just have all these stories. I remember my first time in Florida, or one of my first times in Florida when I was signed, Ming was there. And I was like, oh, man, Ming's here. This is awesome. Haku's here. This is great. And Gama was like, yeah, we're good friends. He knew I was there, so he came to see me. I was like, that's so cool. I thought that was so awesome. And what respect that Haku's a legend. And a lot of people don't know about Gama, but he was there to see Gama and just shoot the shit with him. Because I remember when I walked in, they were having a great conversation. And I introduced myself, and it was like shaking a guy that has catcher's mitts hands. So, like hands that are catcher's mitts. And I just thought that was so cool. And people don't realize it. And Don Callis is a guy that, doesn't need to respect anybody. Don's been there. He's done that. He's such a great mind for the business. But if you could ever see the respect that he had for Gama and how he would treat Gama, he treated him like royalty, because that's that respect he had for him. That is important. That means something. Yes. So many people out there that have no clue how good he was, and to this day, how great he is and how funny, just that deadpan comedy. Like when he did the thing with the Rascals, he's in there he's showing them how to smoke the hookah, and they get super high in the treehouse. Just stuff like that. They have no clue. Like it just goes over people's heads. And for me, it's a shame, because that's money, and people just don't pick up on that stuff. It's like seeing a painting, and I don't want to say dumb people, but he'll me will say dumb people don't get it. But the intelligent people pick up on it right away, and they see the beauty and the art of it. I feel like smart fans, not smart fans like smarts, but intelligent fans see, oh, I see what they're doing there. That guy's a genius, and I get it, and they respect that. And that's how I feel about my work as well. I feel like I'm a cult classic, I have this niche following.
Did you just drop a new moniker?
Yeah, I think so. I thought somebody else had that. Did Colt Cabana have that? I can't remember. But like some people, they really get what I do, and they understand what I do, and they like what I do. And then some people, it goes right over their heads, or they just don't care, or they don't like it for whatever reason, and they don't understand it. That's what I feel like. I'm one of those like cult classic movies that only a certain amount of people get. So I'm not over with the masses. I'm over with a small group. But when I'm gone and it's all said and done, and I have turned to dust for real, then people will be like, oh, this guy was great. And then they'll get it. But unfortunately, I won't be able to reap that success. So, but that's how I feel like about Gama as well.
Hell yeah. People usually get it, unfortunately, too late, because there's just not enough of the intelligent people in the world. But I digress. Anyways, who was it that brought you into so I guess what you were talking about, Global Force, and that era, that whole mess of what was, pretty much a transition period. Who brought you in?
Well, myself and Jake Something went up. We were training at the Border City School, the Can-Am Dojo up in Windsor. Scott Moore, Divine, Johnny Bravo, guys like that were up there helping us out, getting us ready. And we just wanted to go train up there because we already had years of experience, but we wanted something new. And we went up there and we would train, and Scott wasn't even with Impact at the time. And then he ended up going back to Impact, and he needed someone to team up with Idris Abraham. He's like, hey, you guys would have a good look together. I'd like you guys to team up. I'm going to give you a shot. And it was, I never forget, it was in April of 2017. It was myself and Idris Abraham, and we wrestled Laredo Kid and Garza Jr. twice.
Yeah.
And Jeff Jarrett was still in charge at the time, and he liked me. And I was like, man, I might get signed. And then nothing happened. And then there was a Pro Wrestling Noah and Impact tryout. We went for the Pro Wrestling Noah one. And then the guys that won the Impact tryout got to go do this gut check thing. And then Scott was like, hey, you know, if you and Jake want to come up here, we'll have you part of the gut check thing. You guys already have your foot in the Impact door, so you might as well try to get more exposure. And then the gut check thing turned out whoever won would go to the tapings and get a shot to perform on the set of tapings for Impact. Well, I ended up winning. They had said, this guy he's a complete package. He can cut a promo, he can work, he has a presence, he has charisma. And I ended up winning that. So I did my set of the tapings, and I had a few matches. I remember I got to work with Ishimori, which I absolutely loved. I got Trial by Fire, where I got to work with Eddie Edwards, who's pretty much the Undertaker of the Impact locker room. And I got chopped like 400 times, and I took it like a champ. And I remembered that, and I felt like I earned some respect there. And I did well, and I wasn't signed. And then Scott called me in December, and he's like, hey, next time I talk to you, I'm going to be sliding a contract in front of you. We're going to sign you. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So that's how I got my shot with Impact. It was right place, right time, really. And that's how I got it, which was tremendous. And then honestly, when I got there, nothing was handed to me. I was just another name on the card. I had no sizzle. I wasn't an indie darling or anything of that nature. I had no fanfare, no hype, no nothing. I had a little bit of love because of the gut check. But other than that, that was about it. And like I said, I worked my way up, and I finally earned myself an X Division title. And I'm continuing, I feel like, to earn my place there. And I feel like I belong in the upper echelon, if not upper mid echelon. And I just continue to try to make a name for myself and establish myself as one of their top guys.
Dude, and much respect to you, brother, because you said it perfect. I mean, dude, you built yourself up, and I've watched it as a fan and as a consumer of the product, as Richard Holiday would like to say. It's been amazing, dude. And you are one of the most, and I'm not fucking kissing your ass because I don't do that shit, but you are one of the most entertaining people on Impact Wrestling television right now. And you have been for quite some time. It's all the little shit you do. And in ring, dude, you're fucking phenomenal. You're a hard worker, and I have mad respect. I think maybe it's a Midwest thing, dude. Like us Midwesterners, I put our work rate above a majority of people in the damn country, like as far as like, no matter what you're doing, albeit professional wrestling, or if you're flipping damn burgers, you be the best you can be at anything. And I think our work rate's right up there with fucking some of the best in the world. And dude, man, you're just killing it. To be a part of a brand and single yourself out like I think you have as a unique character, and somebody that I think, especially now, you can be put in all these different situations that are amazing because, right, let's talk about this forbidden door bullshit for a second. I mean, there's so many possible scenarios. There's so many like matches that, you could have with these guys, albeit from AEW or New Japan, that they're bringing in. And what's the backstage feeling, or at least for you, with that whole forbidden door thing, man?
I think it's amazing that it's even happening. And
don't ask Samoa Joe about it, though.
Oh, I don't know. I know. Said about it. I don't know.
He's like, fuck all that.
Honestly, I don't pay attention. I don't pay attention a lot to like a lot of dirt sheet stuff. Unless my name comes, around here and there and somebody says something. And even then I try not to pay attention.
That Cardona guy was saying some shit.
That Cardona guy, that coward. But I try not to pay attention to it unless it's like high praise, because anything else is just in one ear out the other. If I sat there and dwelled on it, people are going to shit on you all day. and try to say that you suck because they don't like you for this reason or that reason or whatever. And half it's garbage. So I just try to be the best that I can be and listen to my peers and the people backstage. And that's who I want to impress, because that's, I'm trying to keep a job and make more money at said job and continue to elevate myself in the world of professional wrestling. That's all I really care about as far as wrestling goes. It's cool. I think it's amazing that we had Kenny Omega have our title and on our show, and then the Impact title gets defended on one of their first, was it their first Rampage or something like that, and then a former Impact guy gets it, Christian, and then he comes, and then Ace Austin, who I think is one of the future of not only Impact but professional wrestling, steps up to him. I just think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I don't think the thing that bothers me most, and I always say this, and I don't know if it's just society or what, I don't think fans realize how cool it is.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
Yeah, they just find reasons to complain about it. It's like, damn, if NWA and AWA got together back in the day, or when Flair would go and defend the belt at World Class,
and they did, yeah,
that to me blew my mind.
Right,
like I couldn't even imagine anything like that. Or when WWE and ECW had their little crossover, I just thought that was amazing. So stuff like that, I think, is great. I don't understand why people complain about it. I think it's awesome.
Society.
You get to see all these people. Like NWA just had Empower, and you had Deanna on there. I think Deanna is absolutely killing it.
That was a great show, by the way. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's just, it was a great show, and you have so many talented individuals, and everybody killed it. And then you have Mickey James coming over here, and then you have Deanna going over there. Man, it's like you have to watch. It's almost like a comic book crossover.
Exactly. Remember Marvel versus DC back in the day? They created Amalgam.
Man, yeah, exactly. And you had, what was it, Nightclaw or Dark Claw or whatever?
Yeah, Dark Claw. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Lobo the Duck, but hey.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think people realize how special and cool this is. And it blows my mind that, like, the majority
of, like you said, brother.
They just
not
want
to cut you off.
It.
But dude, when you not to cut you off.
What's up?
But like you said earlier, where people won't realize like your greatness or Gama's greatness until you guys are dust in the wind. Yeah. People are not going to realize how special this time is in professional wrestling until they won't have it anymore. Until
Yes,
and that's a damn shame, because we're all wrestling fans. I don't care if you're the guy in the ring doing the work and we're the fucking media or whoever. Right. It is so special to be able to see all these talents. And I love that analogy, dude, like the comic book crossovers. When I was a kid, dude, what was it? I think there was like a Spawn and Batman crossover that was really fucking cool.
But what about when it was like Predator versus Batman, and then Batman versus
I have all those, dude.
Yeah, dude, there was such great crossovers, and man, I don't understand. I think just people are so spoiled and so entitled sometimes.
Yes.
It just irks me. Like, man, just enjoy what you're getting. Sure, some things could be better. Yeah, hands down. There's no doubt in my mind certain things could be better. I wish more Impact people were going over to wrestle on AEW show, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. But damn, I'm not gonna lie, sharing a locker room with Christian Cage, sharing a locker room with Kenny Omega, that's
picking
awesome.
Brains.
Yes, yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Just shooting the shit with Kenny and talking to him about video games. That's cool for me. And then for the fans just to be able to see this, I don't think they realize how special it is. It's okay to like more than one show, guys. It's okay to like professional wrestling. So when the Monday Night Wars were happening, I couldn't get enough of wrestling. I was watching both. I would literally channel surf or channel flick back and forth, or maybe I would record one and watch the other, and then vice versa the next week. I just wanted to watch great professional wrestling, and then I would stay up because ECW at the time was only on like a weird local channel, and it was like at 2 a.m. I would stay up and watch ECW. Yeah, I just wanted to watch professional wrestling. So I don't understand why everyone gets on there and argues. It's like arguing about politics, religion, or movies or comics. It's like everyone gets upset if you don't like what they like. It's okay to like professional wrestling. It's okay to like Josh Alexander and love MJF. It's okay. There's no one's going to tell you you're wrong for liking both. Just enjoy it. You're getting great professional wrestling all around the board on the indies.
Every day of the fucking week.
Yes. I don't understand that shit. It blows my mind why people are so pissy about it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah. Because, hey, let's face it, boils and ghouls, we could go back to fucking 2001 and there can be a monopoly and we ain't going to get shit.
Exactly.
And also in 2001, I mean, let's just be honest, dude, the indie scene was nowhere near as stacked as it is now. Like you can find an indie pretty much, and we've said on the show many a times that the return of the territories are the indie independent scenes. You know,
Yeah.
There is so much fucking talent out there now. They're back to being feeder systems. Something that, let's rewind a bit for you entitled elitist motherfuckers. Some that WWE, your sacred E, didn't want to have nothing to do with indie darlings or anything back in the day. Because, hey, we're going to sign supermodels and bodybuilders, and we're going to build them up and get them fucking ready and force them down your throat.
And pretty much it's like, but I mean, besides like maybe a Kurt Angle or Brock Lesnar or something like that, that's few and far between, but it is what it is. I don't run it. I don't work there, so I can't say anything about that. So I'm not going to sit here and shit on them because it's not my place.
Right.
But speaking of indies, I will be in Houston on September 11th for WrestleRave. I can't wait for that. I Love You Blue. I'll be hosting a seminar there, which I can't wait to do, and then I'll be wrestling T-Ray that night. I have never wrestled in Texas beside once for Impact. I hope to be back down in Texas. I know there's a few promotions down there I would love to hit up and get down there and work for. I've seen a few of my friends, but WrestleRave, I'm super excited to go down there. I'm super excited to pass on what little knowledge I have to a younger generation, and I can't wait to step in the ring with T-Ray and see what he has. So I think it's their second show. I know my buddy Sam Beal was just down there. He said it was pretty good. So I'm excited. I'm excited to go down there and help this promotion grow. That's something I love to do.
Sam Beal? I got a bush light for you, brother. He's awesome. He's been up to Warrior Wrestling, who we do a lot of things, work with a lot. We're at like every Warrior Wrestling. We're always at the VIPs and all that. I was just backstage for the last entire show. And brother, let me tell you, I haven't seen a more positive locker room. And it's great because it's everybody. We're going back to talking about all the territories and whatnot coming together. Yeah. We had AAA, Impact, MLW, AEW, Superstars, all one locker room, all coercing with each other and just super positive. NWA people too as well, man. It's just, that's great to see. I was elated. I was a fly on the wall, brother, just witnessing everything. And I can't speak highly enough of them and those guys. So hopefully they can get you up there. It's another promotion that you need to be a part of. And
they run a good show up there. Good people too.
Hell yeah, they are. Shout out to Eric and Steve. Let's do another shout out, another deep dive in, because dude, you're on the independent scene in the Midwest, man. You've done some work for AAW. You're a previous, excuse my language, heritage champion that you unfortunately dropped the strap to Myron Reed. Is there going to be any type of vengeance, so to speak? Are you going to fucking challenge for the strap again? Any plans? How has it been working with AAW? And what's your true opinion on Ref Derek Martha's absolutely horrible haircut?
I love it because it makes him stand out. And that's what you got to do in the world of professional wrestling. I don't know, even as a ref, some people will be like, you shouldn't be trying to stand out as a ref because you're just a ref. But I don't know, have fun with it. Do what you got to do. You're not going to hear me complain about that. AAW holds a special place in my heart. Danny Daniels does, because he was one of the first people to take a shot with me. I'm sorry. Because I was wrestling there and it was the place to be. And he put me in the ring and I had a chance to work with some good guys. I had wrestled DJ Z at the time. Oh, yeah. And then Chuck Taylor. And they were good matches. And he's like, the crowd's just not getting into you. What do I have to do to get you over? And I said, just give me a microphone. And then we started doing these vignettes when I was behind the mask, and I was just pretty much crapping on things I hate about indie wrestling and, professional wrestling fans and stuff like that. And everyone thought it was like this big indie name because I was cutting these fire promos. And I remember when I did the reveal, they wanted me to do something where I took this mask off and stuff. I was like, no, because they're going to shit on it because they have no idea who I am. And I unveiled the mask instead, and I remember they were disappointed, but then the promo I cut afterwards, about 85% of them got on board. And then after that, Karam and I were just, we were running roughshod through AAW and just causing chaos and creating havoc. And it's some of the best wrestling that I've had. It's some of the best material that I've had. And I will always continue to appreciate Danny Daniels and AAW. And that's why I still use the name Hakeem Zayn. I use Pro Heat everywhere else now because it actually has some value built up. I wouldn't use it before because no one wanted to see that on the show. But now it does. But Danny wants me to still be the very aggressive. He doesn't want me to be the flashy playboy and dressing nice and stuff like that. He doesn't want that. He wants gritty, pissed off, bitter Hakeem Zayn. So that's why I still continue to do Hakeem Zayn, because I have that respect for Danny and AAW. So I'll continue to do that because, hey, he helped put me on the map a little bit with those promos. A lot of people saw it and was like, this guy's pretty good. Some people didn't give a shit, whatever. But he continued to put me in there with great talent. I continue to deliver. He continues to put me in there with people. He treats me with nothing but respect. So I'm going to show him that respect back and continue to use that name if he asks me to. So that's why I do it.
Hell yeah. And dude, shout out to the homies at AAW, man. They got a good deal going with Fight now. You guys can watch all their shows in AAW Alive via our friends at Fight TV. So that's fucking awesome. And that's the other thing. Let's talk about that real quick, dude. What's kind of dive back in the whole wrestling and the territory and us being spoiled as fans and performers and whatnot. Dude, streaming has been a blessing for independent promotions. I mean, when you have, high spots and you have Fight and was it Power Bomb? Power Slam?
You have indie wrestling. What was it?
IWTV.
Yeah, I mean, the internet has been a blessing and streaming has been a blessing. People have got signed off of highlight reels, which, you know what I mean? Some guys are good off their highlight reels and some aren't. Some guys just do cool shit and then jumps on the bandwagon. Yeah, and not even just spot monkeys, just they might have something cool they did and everyone's like, oh my God. And I'll go back to that in a minute. Like I want everyone to get their cheese. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit here and hate on people. However, I will gatekeep a little bit because I love professional wrestling so much and I want it to thrive. I want it to excel and I want nothing but the best to be out there and to succeed. I don't want stuff that's subpar to succeed. And sometimes I feel like guys that could use a lot more experience or a lot more knowledge end up succeeding and it doesn't help.
Flash in the pan,
hurts the business. Yeah. And sometimes when you see some of these guys get to TV or whatever, they kind of fizzle out because there's a big difference. But as far as the internet goes and streaming goes, it has helped so many wrestling promotions. It has helped so many wrestlers, which is fantastic. And I'm not going to sit here and take away from anyone's success. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that the stuff that is at the top deserves to be at the top. It deserves to be cream of the crop professional wrestling and not stuff that is subpar. I do feel like, and I'm sorry, I'm going to trail off here with this, but I do feel like a lot of professional wrestling, like somebody will do like a sequence, so to speak. And sometimes it looks like they're going through the motions, but the fans are so preconditioned to cheer that they'll cheer it whether it's good or not. And I don't want that to be hailed as something great because it's not. Right. There's a lot of little things, a lot of movement, a lot of, you know what I mean? It's nothing against these people. I want them to get better. And some people, you can't tell them that because they already have in their head that they're the best because of what the internet is telling them, or other wrestlers who feel the same way about themselves. You know what I mean? There's a lot of growing to do with everybody, myself included. And all I want is the best to be showcased, not a lot of stuff that is just kind of subpar, just kind of meh. And I want people to grow the right way, not the quick, easy way. And sometimes I feel like the internet does allow that to slide in. And I wish it'd be a little bit cleaner, a little bit better. So here's to that. And when they get to TV, it's totally different. You're either going to be a wrestle like an indie guy or you're going to wrestle like a TV star. There's a huge difference. Oh yeah,
totally. Most definitely, dude. It's so weird, maybe, I don't give a fuck. I'll date myself. I'm going to be 39 in October. I remember as a young kid, like, much even I always equate wrestling to the the metal scene and music and shit, because that's another scene I'm actually a part of. And the tape trading days, I mean, they've been long dead, but this is the new way, so it's so much more accessible, and it's awesome for you guys as performers to be able to have, instantly you do a fucking 3, 4, 5-star fucking match anywhere, right? And then anybody at that fucking thing at that event is going to post a clip of that. And I've seen it with a lot of these boys and girls backstage, like instantly everybody's like all up on it, because that now is modern day tape trading, like whether it's a whole match or just clips, it's crazy, man, to think of how far technology and everything has evolved, and you take the good with the bad, like you said,
it's a gift and a curse.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of people that shouldn't be on Twitter and all that shit, but hey, It is what it is, right?
There's a lot of people that shouldn't be in a ring either, at least not at the height that they are, because you're either unsafe or it's just like,
right.
To me, it's just not at that level. And then sometimes when you see these guys get in the ring with other people, they're either going to get carried or you see it, you know what I mean? But it still gets a pass. And I don't want that stuff to get a pass. I want nothing but the best for professional wrestling. But I also want these individuals to grow so they can be better than what they already think they are. I want them to be the best, because that's just what I want for professional wrestling.
Because you're a fucking good dude and you want success for everybody,
Yeah, it's just not more than me, you know what I mean?
Well, not more than you, but for
no, it's whatever.
Fuck everybody else. No.
Yeah, fuck them.
Fuck. Hey, so who are some of the homies, man, the real tight homies that you came up with that you're still like tight today, and maybe you guys are still traveling, fucking the roads together, whether it's an Impact or the Indies or whatever? Like, who are some of the real close homies that you're tight with in the biz, man?
Well, if anyone knows anything, obviously Jake Something. That's
right.
That's brother number one right there. We knew each other before professional wrestling. We were doing backyard stuff. We were friends. Then we both went and got trained. He went to Ring of Honor. I went to a local guy, Xavier Justice, and then just started making my way. And then I remember when he came back into town, I got him his first match. And him and I have been on the road ever since. We actually just had a match at this new promotion in Wisconsin out in Green Bay called RPW. And it wasn't even, it's not recorded or anything of that nature, but we tore it up. And I remember the promoter goes, man, you guys went out there and worked hard. It's like, we don't know anything else but to work hard when we're in the ring, especially with each other. So there's a couple other Michigan guys that were really trying to get the world to see, and because they're great. Carm's one of them, Xavier Justice, Glenn Jones, who had some love on AEW Dark. I mean, these guys look like superstars. They look like professional wrestlers. They look like larger-than-life characters. And I wish that people would wake up, promoters, fans would honestly just wake up and check these guys out, because they're great. And nobody will check them out until the internet tells them that they're, worth checking out, which is unfortunate sometimes, because these guys, their talent it's great. You know what I mean? They're very talented individuals. As far as when it's on Impact, those are the road dogs right there. As far as an Impact, obviously Josh Alexander, that's my dude. Almost every time the tapings are done, when it comes to what we're doing, it's me, Josh, and Jake going to get food, talking about wrestling, talking about life. All of us going to the gym together. Chris Bay.
Chris Bay is
one of my guys.
Too,
we're great frenemies in the ring. Really good friends outside the ring. Falaba, that's my dude. Willie Max, one of the funniest guys. Swan, Rich and I have been trying to get this one-on-one match forever. Please, somebody book it. I love Swanee. Backstage, a lot of times we'll be sitting there doing the Austin. He'll do Bret Hart. I'll do Austin, and we'll just go back and forth, shooting the shit with promos with each other and those voices, doing those impressions. And then, of course, Shira. Shira's always there. We're always looking out for each other. And just trying to help each other out, making sure that we're good in the ring and stuff like that. So, and there's a slew of other guys, but those are like, some of the closest ones.
Hell yeah, dude. That's cool, man. The fucking broing down shit and the fucking, hell yes. And all that shit, man. That's super fucking dope, man. I have a funny story. I was at last Warrior show I was at, Jake was there, and there was another indie guy, a guy named Garrison Creed. Mm-hmm. He's fucking comes up to my table and he's talking. And he's just, we're looking at fucking Jake, and Jake's a physical fucking specimen, dude.
Specimen, man, bag of money.
He's just, like I said, like fucking Midwest guy. He's got like that corn-fed, just natural fucking body, that all of a sudden he decided to pick up some weights, and that's how he looks. Much like a Brock Lesnar,
Dude,
like,
for real.
And he's like, man, I just don't get it with this dude. Like, I want to know what he eats. I'm like, well, I could tell you right now, he's shoveling a shit ton of pizza in his fucking face. So
he eats whatever he wants, man. He's like naturally, he never played sports as a kid, and he's just naturally
guy like that Frazetta body, dude, like that fucking Conan. We're talking about Conan.
He's a caveman. He is a barbarian. He's a real life caveman barbarian. And, he just lifts heavy things and puts them back down. It's crazy.
Yeah, and jams out to some Pantera.
Yeah, yep. Good dude though, man. One of the best dudes you'll know.
You were talking about so you guys did backyard shit. How backyard were you guys?
We had a ring, an actual ring. We put on shows at the house, in my old house, and we would draw like pretty much an indie crowd, and like it'd be hundreds of people there sometime, maybe 50, but we would do it every Sunday. Storylines, characters, the whole nine, entrances. We loved it, man. Of course, we didn't know how to bump and stuff like that. We were idiots, but we had our own little Ultimate X style match. We had all this stuff. I went through thumbtacks and all this shit, and it was crazy. But we would wrestle, and we were always just, we loved wrestling. And we never said we were professional wrestlers, but when we finally had the chance to find a place to go train, we went and did it, and now look at us now. It's awesome.
Fuck yeah, it is. Would you ever do a death match?
Nah, probably not. I honestly, back in the day, I probably would have done something like that when I first started. Now I just try to wrestle for longevity. My favorite thing is telling a story out in the ring. Nothing against deathmatch guys. What they do is absolutely insane and brutal. It's just not my cup of tea. And I just probably wouldn't do it. Street fights, sure. That's no big thing. It just nowadays, though, I just try to wrestle for longevity for me. And even like certain spots, I'll pull it out in a big match. But if it's just like some show, I'm not going to take anything stupid. Yeah, I don't want to.
You have a bump card, brother. You have a card.
I can still tear it up and do whatever in my way. And, as a lot of guys, as they get older, most guys they'll be that way. They're like, I'm not doing that on this show, but they'll still go out there and give it their all. I would hope. You save like the crazier stuff for bigger moments and bigger shows.
What's the old adage? And this is used in a lot of industry, no matter if it's professional wrestling, entertainment, and whatnot. Smarter, not harder. Yeah. Brother, I tell you what, I tore my body up early on at some of these shows we did, doing flips off stage and like landing on my back, because you would think people would fucking catch you, and there'd be a lot of people there, but they would part like the Red Sea. Yeah. I would land on my back and be like, lose my breath. People like, he's fucking dead. He's fucking dead. Like, not fucking dead, but I'm about to die if someone don't fucking pick me up,
Yeah.
Or playing in Mexico and people putting cigarettes out on you, and fucking knocking you out while you're playing. Like, I would do all this crazy shit. Like, even with my band members, we'd be playing. Fucking my bass player, who at the time was probably 20 years old, looked like he was 40 and like 300 plus pounds, big burly dude, fucking knock me out in San Antonio while we're playing. I'm standing there like dazed, But nowadays, it's more the performance, and I still have like old school cats that'll come to shows like, hey, we want to see you do this now. Motherfucker, I'm almost 40. I ain't going to be flipping off stages anymore. I'm more focused on the performance. I'm glad that I rope-a-doped your ass in with the crazy shit I did. But hey, man, nothing lasts forever, including our breath. So I'm going to take it easy and work smarter, not harder.
And to me, who the guys that made the most money and they transcended professional wrestling, guys like Flair, Cena, Rock, Hogan, Austin, and guys like that, and all they did was go out there and tell a story.
Right.
And that's just what I want to do. I want to bring you in. I want you to hate Rohit Raju, which I succeed.
I don't want to
at
hate
real
you
well.
though, man. I'm conflicted.
But I do want people to hate Rohit because he's a slime ball. He's a piece of trash, and I think
I like that.
Well. Yeah, some people do. It's funny though, when we first had fans there, boy, I get booed out of the building. It's awesome. But that's the story I want to tell. And I don't think I do think sometimes that art is lost because anybody can do moves. Some people can do them real well, and some people can't. Some people can do really good moves and implement them and tell a great story. And some people can just go out there and tell a great story. And that's just kind of what I want to do. I want to mix it. I want to mix the new school and the old school and put it together and try to make magic, try to make moments.
Fuck yeah, brother. And that's all you can do. That's all you can do. Hey, real quick, as we kind of wind down here, you were talking about video games. You mentioned video games earlier, and I know a lot of the boys and girls in the locker room nowadays, that's the thing, which is very cool because that's how I would be on the road. Like, what are you into? What are you playing?
I'm actually playing right now Horizon Zero Dawn. I went back to that because I didn't beat it. I was playing Spider-Man Miles Morales for a while. I put that down. I don't know why I put it down. The last great game I played was Ghost of Tsushima, which I absolutely loved.
It's that good, huh? Everybody.
I'm a big fan of open world RPG, action RPGs.
Okay.
Stuff like Skyrim, Witcher 3, Grand Theft Auto. I'm a huge fan of those. Normally in the summertime, I don't do a lot of gaming. Jake and I were just at a show. We were playing Smash Brothers together on the Switch. I do love the Switch. I think it's a great system. I was playing Streets of Rage 4 on that, which I'm a huge old school fan of, like the old school beat 'em ups, the side scrolling beat 'em ups.
Streets of Rage.
Yeah, dude. During the wintertime, I do play more video games. I like to be outside. I'm still like a kid at heart. I like to be outside doing stupid shit or just hanging out with my dogs. But during the wintertime, I'll play more multiplayer games. That's when I usually pick up a Call of Duty, put the headset on, and just veg out with my friends, get into some multiplayer games.
So, Rohit, we were talking earlier about comic books. We'd mentioned that shit. Were you a big comic book connoisseur growing up, or like, are you still now? I know a lot of boys in the business are like a lot of people in the business borrow from comics nowadays. It's been like that for a little while, but if so, what were some of your favorite books to read, crossovers, all that shit, all that jazz, brother? What was pleasuring you as a child for entertainment in the comic industry?
I started off reading Punisher when I was a kid.
Yes.
In the 90s. Then I got into
Warzone. Fucking
Punisher Warzone when John Romita Jr. was drawing them.
Yes.
Big broken nose and stuff. I love that art style. At first I didn't, but I had to get used to it.
Romita too,
I got into 90s X-Men with Jim Lee when he was doing it, and Chris Claremont. I loved that so much.
Yes.
Was a big Batman fan when he got a little darker. Loved the Dark Knight Returns story. Was a fan of when Superman got killed and came back. I was never huge into DC. I love like the Batman Black and White. I love the Hush storyline. The Killing Joke was one of my favorites.
Death in the Family.
As far as modern day comics, I never got back into comics because I never knew where to pick up. But the last thing I read I started to read a lot of weird offshoot stuff, and I actually read The Boys before it was a thing on Amazon.
Yeah. And
I loved it. And then when I found out that they were putting it into a TV show, at first I was like, there's a lot of stuff they're going to have to take out because it was hypersexual, hyper-violent, in which they did take out a lot of stuff out, but I still enjoy the way the TV show is, and it actually went a different direction than the comics did. So now I don't know what's going to happen. But I used to, I think my buddy Joel Coleman actually has my comics. I let him borrow the graphic novels that I had, and it's such a great story. And I loved it. I actually love The Boys, but I would love to get back into comics. When the comic conventions were going on, I would go there and pick up graphic novels, stories that I thought looked interesting, and I would scoop those up just to see what was going on. I loved Marvel's last few phases. I'm having a hard time getting into this Phase 4 stuff. It's not pulling me in. I don't know why. I can't get into it. I'm a huge Star Wars guy, so when Dark Horse was doing Star Wars comics, I would read like Tales of the Jedi, the Dark Empire stuff with when the Emperor came back and Luke.
They were also doing the Alien. We were talking about the Predator comics and shit. They were doing all those crossovers.
That stuff was really cool. I love the crossover stuff. As a kid, that blew my mind. I just love stuff like that. But I know when Comic-Cons start coming back up, I'll start getting back into that. There was this crazy comic I read. I never got to finish it, but it was like Templar Mice or Mice of the Templars. It was really violent, which was really cool. There was one called Mouse that I read. It was about like if mice, it had to do like the Holocaust, like the mice were the Jews and then the rats were like the Nazis. And that comic was, oh man, that was a hard read, boy. But it was a great story. It was super depressing. But if you ever get a chance to read it, I really and I encourage you to read it. It's deep, man. And it's crazy how they take it and how they did that with like just animals. But man, it was a brutal read because it was just so depressing.
Right,
great stuff. I loved Blade of the Immortal, about the samurai that he made this deal. He had to kill 1,000 people, and he had these blood worms. Every time he'd get his arm chopped off, and it would regenerate, or the worms would bring it back together. Stuff like that, man. A lot of cool stuff. Lone Wolf and Cub. And just a lot of random stuff too. But yeah, I'm not big into comics anymore just because I have no idea where to begin.
Well, brother, I was at that position too, and like a huge consumer as a kid, a collector. So I'm kind of offended that you said you let somebody borrow your graphic novels, because even my closest friends, my brothers, get the fuck away from my shit. You know? But the Superman story arc where he died back, I remember that, and I remember that being so powerful, and that wrote me into. Dude, Superman is, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks or says. He's the ultimate superhero. Classic. When you want to go classic, he's the ultimate. And that's the story arc that wrote me into that belief and that mindset as a kid. And especially because it introduced us to Doomsday, you know, back in that, and what was it? God damn it. When Bane broke Batman's fucking back.
Yeah, Nightfall and all that stuff.
Nightfall and all that. Yep. Yeah, and Azrael, who is such an underrated character and
very underrated.
Needs to be Batman 500. I love that outfit. I'm sorry. I still have the foil fucking cover, all that shit, dude. And all that fucking stuff. But dude, I found myself, you know, you get out of it for a little while for whatever reason. And then once I kind of got back into it, because I was living in a college town, Valparaiso, Indiana. And there was a comic shop that I could walk. It'd take me 2 minutes, much like when I was a kid growing up in Hobart, Indiana, and I had comic book store right downtown. I could get whatever the hell I wanted. I was buying the hell out of Overpower cards and all of this shit, man. And I'd go in there and I would talk to the owner, Greg, who rests in peace. He was a great fucking dude. He would fill me in on stuff. I was a huge Carnage fan. Now everybody's going to be a huge Carnage fan because the fucking movie, and whatever, that's fine, you know, but most insane villain I ever thought could have existed. And I loved Mark Bagley's fucking artwork and all that shit, all that era. That's like my shit, you know, and Age of Apocalypse, X-Men, you know, you're talking about the Jim Lee X-Men. I have all those covers. I have all that run. Todd McFarlane, Spider-Man. Dude, it's so cool. But the reason, like, when I got back into it, I was like, all right, dude, I got some extra money. It's so fucking expensive.
Yeah. Cool.
Image kind of doesn't really do that. They're kind of off on their own beaten path, which is great, because if DC is going to do this huge story arc like the new 52 or whatever, Marvel's going to do the same thing, but call it something different, you know. And I hate that shit because I don't think you benefit as a consumer. I think you suffer. Your wallet suffers unless you don't have to worry about money.
Right.
And that sucks, because a lot of times the story may be so fucking cool that like you have to, this story's going to play out across 18 different books that are like monthly or bi-weekly, and it's just so much money. And that kind of like drove me out when I looked at like, wow, man, I'm spending this hundreds of dollars on fucking every Wednesday, you know, on new comics and shit. Like, now I realize why I got out, because I'm not rich and I can't handle it, and I'm a super fucking dork, man. I just can't do it. Maybe I'll stick with like I loved like IDW was bringing some more stuff to life and doing more cool shit. And I think they did a Predator series too.
Their Transformers series was great.
Yeah, I think they did a Ramones comic, man. I'm a huge fucking Ramones fan. Cool. And that was pretty good. They and I think they licensed Archie. There was Archie versus Predator, which is awesome, dude.
I remember that. I'll have to check that out because
I got them all, brother.
I was like, how's this a thing?
It's exactly. It's like oil and water. It doesn't mix, but guess what it does? Fucking awesome. Hey, I thank you so much for coming on this show, Rohit. Dude, you're a great person to talk to. Great fucking worker. Great personality. I wish you nothing but the best, brother. Hopefully down the road we can do this again.
Of course.
I know you're going to be doing some shit. Like we said, everybody check out WrestleRave. If you're down the Houston, Texas area, They're an upstart promotion. They're doing some really cool shit. You guys with Impact are going to be busy. You guys Bound for Glory coming up. That's going to be
Vegas, baby, October 23rd. Can't wait.
Yeah, man. Everybody's all in for that. Not to, quote the other guys, but man,
right.
Come on. Everybody's going to be there. They'll be there. You got New Japan going to be there. You got AAA. It's insane, the possibilities. Everybody just love each other and enjoy pro wrestling. And Rohit, now is the time where you can tell all these motherfuckers out there watching and listening right now. And if you are, hit like and subscribe and leave a rating and review. Tell them where they can find you and where they can buy your merchandise, brother.
Raju Zane 80 on Instagram. If you look up Rohit Raju, or I think it's Rohit Raju / Mad Dragon Hakeem Zane, you'll find my Facebook. Of course, Hakeem Zane on Twitter. And then prowrestlingtees.com/Rohit. I have some sweet shirts on there. And then, of course, shopimpact.com. I also have a shirt up there, but I will be having a few more as well.
Hell
course,
yeah.
Every Thursday night, Access TV, Impact Wrestling, baby.
Oh, yeah. It's on fire. I watch every Thursday.
Right.
Sad to see you guys lost the Twitch deal, but now you guys are doing the thing on YouTube.
Yeah, it's like $1, and like $1 a month, which is like $12 for the year. And you can watch it. And they have like the bigger one as well. So I think that's such a great deal. And YouTube views, it's huge. So it's obviously something easy and great to look into.
Hell yeah. Once again, Rohit, thank you very much for coming on the show. Everybody out there watching, listening right now on any podcasting platform, like I said, leave a rating, review, share with your friends and family and enemies, all that good shit. And if you're on YouTube, hit like and subscribe. Share this fucking video because why? Because it's fucking awesome. Because we got a hot ass guest like Raju, and he just absolutely fucking killed it for all of you. So hey, until next time, we have a little thing we like to say. To quote Easy E, wet 'em up, wet 'em up, wet 'em up.
There you
go. Until next time, motherfuckers, we'll see you next week.
You gonna do sex to me?
Did you like that video? If so, be sure to hit like and subscribe and check out more killer content from your boys at Juice Pro Wrestling. Whoa, yeah!